Hey, welcome back to Curbrash. Nick, the Yeehees don't stop. We thought we were done talking about them last week, and then before we started recording this, I'm like, no, we have more. So, um, should be a fun conversation. Later on, we're gonna have a much broader conversation. This is mostly my idea. We just had a political, we had a federal election in Canada.
Event.
Event. Yes, a political event.
Event.
Yes, some people might not call it an election. Who knows? But regardless, for those international listener, we did have an election for our leader on the federal level, and we were thinking, much in the old style that the Top Gear boys used to do. What kind of cars would the leaders of the federal parties drive? What kind of guys are they? What kind of things do they like? But first, before we get to that, we wanted to touch on more yeehees. Now, I sent Nick a barrage of two videos of a YouTube channel I don't want to name because I don't want to give what exposure we give, but I don't want to give them a shout out. But it's just like a child wearing squeeze merch, driving cars shittily, but swinging through traffic. And we've talked about this before.
Yeah, swimming, you could say, through traffic.
Yep, six swimmers.
Not pretty well. I mean, in the second video, they did crash into they had a crash amongst their own group.
Yeah, which is orgasmic.
It's just you gotta love it.
It's literally,
you gotta love it.
Perfection. It's the only thing that could make it better, and it does. Is a lady comes up after they crash and basically screams out the window like, "You are a bunch of fucking idiots, you fucking losers." And I'm like, this is perfection.
Yeah, because they're cutting through traffic that's at a near standstill. So after the accident, everybody that they've passed now gets to catch up and see that they've crashed into themselves.
It's just a parade of angry people.
Oh, it's wonderful. And the best part is because they decided to post it from multiple angles and multiple vehicles, you can see the footage from the person that did the crashing and see how much time they had to not have an accident.
Oh, it's like,
react to that. It is just perfect.
If you ever wanted an indication of the general level of skill from a swimmer, and this is in quotes, this is the best video. And it's like, there's so much fucking time to break. So much fucking time. Wild work. But we love to see it. We want you to have more accidents, and we want you to continue to post it. We really like seeing it. I don't want you to hit normal people. It gives
us stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, 100%. We don't want you to hit normal people. We don't want you to hit, like, a mom, But if you hit each other.
Hit each other.
Yeah. Oh, you should do it. You should do it. You make so many views. Well, the best part is the video is titled as that they got pit maneuvered. But it's like, you didn't get, I mean, I guess, technically, but it implies cop action.
Yeah.
Like,
technically he did get pit maneuvered just by his friend that was swimming in the other lane.
Yeah. I'm not coming to their defense, but I have a question for you. I think we've sort of touched on this. This very specific form of hooliganism we don't like, right? We don't like swimmers. No.
No.
But there is some hooliganism we do like, right? I think there's some videos. I maybe you've seen them, but have you ever seen the video of the guy on a black motorcycle running from the cops, and then he hides under a highway overpass, and you can see the helicopter go? Have you ever seen that video?
Is that a Ghost Rider video? I know what video you're talking about, but
it might be.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't mind. Well, because it's like on a bike, it's really only yourself. Like, you're gonna lose that battle to whatever car you hit almost 10 times 100%. Out of 10. So
100%.
But at the same time, like most of those videos, it's like, oh, it's in fairly empty, desolate highway or some streets in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
This is like, it's rush hour on a Wednesday.
Yeah, fully.
And they're just cutting through traffic, Like, I feel like it's like, I mean, we like cars. We have an acceptable level of hooliganism. So,
yeah,
like I'm I'm sure there's some of those like bike videos that you enjoy, or we all love watching a car break the speed limit on an empty mountain road.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like I love all the old like Mischief 3000 videos, or
Yeah.
there's like a really old, it's probably one of the OG or an OG YouTube video, but like um Rob Ferretti, or Super Speeders Rob, I guess I'm pretty sure that's his channel,
Right.
has like a 15-year-old video of like him running from the cops in a Ford GT
Yeah,
on
that's a
one of
great
the
video.
like gumball rallies.
We've definitely talked about it before,
I
but
love
it's
it.
such a good video.
Yes,
It's a great
great
video.
video.
It's an era that only exists where like it's not that they're stupid people, but like you could kind of do that stuff and then upload it to YouTube and nothing would happen.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like before there was too much technology.
yeah.
It was like it was modern, but you could still get away with it, like even in the moment.
Yeah, it was like turn of the decade, let's say, like right around 2010. Yeah. You could get
Yeah,
away
it
with
was
that
like
stuff.
yeah, it was early to late 2000s, maybe early 10s
Yeah.
is that era, and then it was the police caught up a little bit with their tech. But
Yeah,
yeah, I love videos from those eras.
I will say I think the only form where those videos continue to exist is I think a little bit the VinWiki stories of being pulled over by cops, because I like stories a little bit more than videos sometimes in the modern landscape, because like, when you tell a story, you tend to, I don't know, people who tell stories, they're grand, they embellish them a little bit, and you're okay with it because you're like, it's a good
You
story.
fluff.
You add fluff, totally.
Yeah.
I think some of the story, like some of the videos that I've seen in later that like you can upload and not get in trouble later kind of videos, they're boring. You know what I mean? It's like a cop pulled me over and I gave him a bit of attitude, and then he gave me a warning for some reason. Like that's the video, right? You can't really upload like I got away, I did this, I talked down a cop from this level. Like they kind of have to be stories. Otherwise, you get video, people get pissed off, especially those officers. They get pissed off, and
Yeah. Well, it's like I think I forget which when I mentioned it, but like the whole like Matt Farah like first to get a ticket challenge, he did
Yeah.
a VinWiki video later on, and apparently that cop did get in trouble and got fired for like leaving him to go chase Rob.
Yeah. No, I do recall that. Yeah, we were talking about that. I think the other thing that I find interesting is there is some exceptions to this though, and then I wanted to get your opinion on it because I have my opinions on it, but you're familiar with Daily Driven Exotics? At least familiar with them?
I know who they are.
Okay. So for those uninitiated, not going to give a long thing, but basically they're Canadian YouTubers who spend a lot of their time in California. And therefore, and the cars are registered in Canada, so a lot of the, you can get away with a lot of shit because the car doesn't have to really conform to California standards. So they have a lot of cop videos where Nick looks super unimpressed right now. I just want to say that. I don't know if it's just he's having a bad day or if he hears Daily Driven Exotics and like his brain falls out.
I know the videos that you're at least some. I honestly like I haven't watched a DDE video in probably like
Neither
6
have
or
I.
7 years.
Yeah. I will say
I know exactly the videos that you're talking about.
yeah. They've come, I will say, it's gone a bit downhill. Their heyday was definitely like pre and during COVID, I will say. So
Yeah, like I don't know. From what I remember, a lot of those videos were just like the cop doesn't really know how to handle an out-of-state car, and they're just kind of being a little bit of a dick about it.
yeah, I do think that that's the funniest. There are some, well, okay, so that's true, and that's you could probably categorize 70% of the cop interactions with you don't understand how an out-of-state car works.
Yes.
So the other 30%, I will say, and this is, have you seen it's the most popular video on their channel where a cop basically writes the main guy a ticket for not having a California driver's license in California, even though he is an international visitor. Have you not seen? Okay.
I have not seen that one, no.
Okay. I've given you the gist. So basically he gets pulled over. He says, you don't have a license. And he says, yes, I do. Here's my Canadian license. Like, no, to drive in California, you must have a California license. And there is a big interaction. It was a big like thing at the time. and they went and filed a complaint because obviously everybody with a brain knows that's obviously insane. Like, that's not how it
Yeah.
works. By the nature, you can just drive in without anybody checking your
Like
documentation.
there's a time limit on it, but like that's the whole
Sure.
thing, is that they go back to Canada for however long before that limit
Yeah.
is up.
Exactly. I think they sort of alternate like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, or something like that, and it's all done on visitor visas. It's all, technically speaking, it is all legal.
Yeah, like the timeline I'm thinking is it's on like the scale of months, I think.
Yeah. So all of that said, my question is, this is a very big round, like, wind up for a question. When you see stuff like that, that's almost like either it's so crazy that you're like, there's no way this is real, or that you're like it feels like it's just a bunch of like it's a perfect storm of shit. Do you think that basically, do you think they're faking that? Do you think that they're just hiring some guy, putting him in a uniform and telling him, pull me over?
You know what? I don't think so. I
No?
honestly believe that there are plenty of cops like that in the States
Yeah.
that don't really know how to interpret their own laws and will just bully their way through it because they technically have the power in the situation. And then on the flip side of that, I know why those videos get a lot of views. It's because the type of people that watch them are the type that like to watch confrontation and have, debate and discussion around the law, and go find that one really niche fucking point of law
Yeah.
that they can put in the comments, or like, I don't know, people who like watching like sticking it to the man type content, like, oh, this guy really proved that cop wrong.
High school woke high
Like-
schooler, or no, fucking right wing high schooler owns cop, that kind of fucking
Yeah,
shit.
it's like I see both sides of it.
Oh, sorry, based high schooler. That's what I was looking for, not woke.
Yeah, based.
Based high schooler. I love those fucking videos because it's always the most like, it's just like a kid going, no, I won't do it. Like, it's always the most fucking like weaselly little bastard, and he's like, he's like, that'll teach him. Like, fucking come on, man. It's so corny. I like, look, I don't like people overstepping. Like, okay, because you remember being in school and a teacher would just say some shit and you're like, that's wrong, and I know that that's wrong, and you're just like, well,
Yeah.
I'm the adult, right?
Yeah, they'll be like, I'm the teacher, so I'm right. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
I
so
see.
you're like, well, I have no power here, but I'm angry at you. I think that's what cops fill in the real world, is like a teacher, where like they can just do whatever they
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. They're just teachers that can shoot people.
Yeah, pretty much. That's another thing. We don't. Curbrash does not condone shooting people, unless they're G35. As we talked, they're VQ owners.
Yes.
Okay, so all that said, basically the same thing as last time. We don't like swimmers. We miss. I think I miss the old style of videos. I understand that. I just want to say that I understand that, because obviously people like have messaged and commented on Rob Ferretti's videos and said, hey man, like, why can't we have more videos like this? And it's like, because you just can't do that anymore. Like, you just can't.
Yeah, like the market for it, I feel like, is kind of gone. Like the people who are driving views today are looking for a different type of content, for better or worse.
Well, that content takes a lot to produce, and like, it doesn't fit
It does
into
take a lot to produce, and I mean, like, it ultimately it is pretty risky to produce as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that's why, like, why VinWiki works is because it's like an archive of years of stories, right? It's not like every week we're getting into some. That's why DDE is the way that it is. Every single time they have anything little happen, they make it like it's a bigger thing than it is. Because in real life, how many stories do you really have in, we're both about 30. How many stories do you have in your life in that time where you're like, this is a big story, it's gonna be a good one? Like 5, 10 at most?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah, you can get through them fairly quick for most people, I think.
Life happens at a reasonable pace. It doesn't happen at YouTube pace. A lot of YouTube shit is manufactured. If you're 12 and you're just hearing this, I'm really sorry to be the one to break it to you. Really hate that for you, but anyway, so yeah. Nick, do you want to say anything else on swimmers or yeehees?
I don't think I have anything else. Like, I don't care for it. I just don't understand it. Like, there's, like, you're trashing a rental car through traffic.
Oh, See, that's the thing we want
Like
to talk about.
at least in the super speeders stuff or like all those old videos, they're like, you know, flying across states and like exotics and stuff. But
Yeah,
you know, or you know, when you watch videos of someone like carving up a mountain road, there's at least some level of skill involved to be able to get around it that quickly.
mm,
I just like I don't see what there is in in swimming. Like you rented a car off Turo and you're hoping you don't crash into traffic while wearing a shiesty.
pretty
Shouts
much.
out, I guess.
I think that's the thing we wanted, just because we said this before. So these guys don't drive their own cars 9 times out of 10. Like
No.
these are Turo rentals that they're just absolutely hooning.
Oh yeah.
So basically, if you're renting your car on Turo, be very wary when someone rolls up in the shiesty, because it might be your car next. I'm just saying, I would never in a million years.
You'll get to see your car pit maneuvered on YouTube.
Yeah, I would, and we'll watch it. We'll watch it, and we'll let you know. We really enjoyed that. But all right, we can we can move on from this. So that's the touch on Yeehees. But main thing we wanted to talk about this week, because you know we had a bit of a political event. You know, we've not much happened, but a lot of people counted ballots. So
One could call it an election.
one could, if in theory,
Perhaps.
I'll give you the quick run around for the very uninitiated. If you're an international viewer, we don't expect you to know much about Canadian politics. You might know something about American politics. It's very popular, but we'll give you a really quick rundown for the uninitiated. We have basically five, maybe six. Like I saw a new party. I didn't really ever had seen them before, but we've got a 5-6 main parties that people generally are voting for. They all lie somewhere on the political spectrum. So the most to the left, I think technically speaking, would be the Green Party, Elizabeth May. So she's the farthest to the left you can get. Not every single one of her policies are. They're not. None of these parties are necessarily bad. Some people might disagree with them. We're not going to politically comment. We're here just to make fun of the leaders and what they might drive.
Yeah, we're just going through the notes.
Yeah. So NDP are what you would call normal far left. You know, the Green Party is way left. NDP is more like socialist party. The Liberals are left leaning. They come close to the center, but to me they're like a normal left leaning party. Probably closer to American Democrats, I would say.
Yeah, like our two main, like liberals and conservatives, would probably be most equivalent to Democrats and
Republicans.
Sorry, I was thinking of the name. I was about to
Yeah.
say GOP, but Republicans.
Yeah.
So conservatives would be Republicans. Liberals would be Democrats.
Yeah. And then the NDP.
They're not exactly the same, but near as.
Yeah. One thing I want to say, you and me, we've probably done this, but we've talked a lot online to Americans, and the Republicans, our right-wing party, is far closer to the center than the American right-wing party is, I would say. So it's still a generally right-leaning party, but our politics is much closer together than the America. It's very, very divided. We're a bit closer together.
Yes.
So they're not generally terrible people on either side of the aisle. Both sides of the aisle generally believe that they're doing what's good for people. I like to give them the benefit of the doubt, but they're all politicians and they all fucking suck dick by the nature of being a politician. So, you know. Anyway, so just to give you the general landscape. And then apparently there's a centrist party, Nick. I didn't hear about this. It was on my ballot. I went, who the fuck is this? And their policy is, we are the centrist party. We are in the middle. That is their website description. I'm like, oh, cool.
We are in the middle.
We are in the middle.
Okay.
Thanks, man. I'm glad. I've never. Yeah. Sorry.
We said at least it's not the People's Party.
Oh my! I forgot about that one. Sorry, we do have one super right-leaning party. It's the People's Party of Canada. They a couple years ago separated from the Conservatives, and they started their own party. If you would like, I hope I can find this video. There's a video of the People's Party of Canada. There's a literal actual party, with a dance floor, and there's two dudes dancing.
Oh, I saw that on Instagram.
Oh my god, it's the best video. That's the best political video I've ever seen.
Exactly the type of people you'd think are celebrating the PPC.
Yeah. If you I'm not saying that they're a racist party, but if there was a racist party, it would probably be the PPC. But the funniest things, I think both of those dudes on the dance floor were brown. No, one of them was white. One of them was brown, I think.
One of them was white, yes.
Super fun.
There's also, I don't even know where they would fall on the spectrum, but there's also
hard
Block.
right wing. Oh, Block. That's right. I'm sorry to my friend. We need to talk about that guy. That's gonna be the funniest guy. Yeah, Bloc Québécois. Well, let's give them the laydown. So basically, they're separatists.
They're more of a separatist party, I guess.
Yeah. They're a separatist party that wants Quebec to be separate.
Bloc, Bloc is just, their whole thing is like, we want Quebec to be its own thing and not part of Canada.
Mm-hmm. Well, they want French representation, and so they only, these fuckers. I would vote Bloc. It'd be the funniest thing, but I would do it just for the meme. But they don't run outside of fucking Quebec. I'd vote for them if I could, but they don't exist. So it's like you only win the seats in Quebec.
I think like my favorite part of this election, and this is probably about as political as I'll ever get on this podcast, is that the current political climate is so bad that people who historically voted Bloc voted for the Liberals.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
it's how bad certain things happening slightly south of us have made things.
Yeah. We're not going to comment on that, but
for any Americans listening, that is like if Texas became a blue state.
Yeah. That is really good, actually. Yeah, it really is like if you flip Texas. I know that they've come close in the past, but it's always been like it's never going to happen. But like, yeah, like Bloc, like not voting Bloc when you historically voted Bloc since you were for the last 60 years, wild shit. Oh my God, excuse me. But so that gives you the landscape. I don't know where they fall on the political spectrum, but honestly, they're just separatists. That's their thing. Their thing is we don't want to be part of Canada anymore. So, so we'll talk about the leaders as we go down and what we think they might drive. I think it would be fun. Now, what side do you want to start on, Nick? We could start with separatists, or do we leave the funniest one for the end because it's Quebec?
Yeah, let's start full left.
Let's start full left. So we're going to go with the Green Party, who I think won 1 seat, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that. So they always get like 1, maybe 2.
I think okay. So for those who don't know, the leader of the Green Party is a little bit of a nutty lady, right? So her thing is like Wi-Fi causes cancer and like all like sort of every like tinfoil hat conspiracy, like she's into it. She's down. You know what I mean? So and she's very eco-minded, which we generally respect, somewhat. And we do respect environmentalism. We just don't really believe that manufacturing tons of new cars promotes environmentalism is basically, or I think we lie on it. Nick?
I feel like we kind of lie on it.
Yeah. Somewhere there. You should probably, normal people should probably drive hybrids and all that kind of thing, but like removing fun is stupid. So, but that's her thing. So she's very like socialism man. She eats hemp and whatever the fuck they do over there.
Lives in a treehouse.
Lives in a tree. Lives in a tree. And so, do you even think she drives a car? It's a hard.
You know what? I feel like yes, and I feel like it's either an EV or something sort of as minimalist as you can get that's been on the road for a while.
A used EV.
Like she's either rolling around in like an '05 Accord.
Yeah. Or
she's in like I don't know, like does Ford make it like an Escape EV?
I don't know.
Just something like that.
I feel like Nissan Leaf.
I don't
like
think
a used Leaf.
She would not have a Tesla.
No, she wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. Used Nissan Leaf makes the most sense to me.
I could see Prius Prime.
So a new one, but I think she's very...
Yeah. Or potentially even just an older Prius.
So she is the kind of person
like she bought it when it was like the it thing, when it was sort of like as efficient and environmentally friendly as you could get, and has just sort of kept it going since then.
And that's her thing. She's like, this is still the it thing, like, because she's crazy, right? She's nuts. She's out of her mind. She's a loony. So yeah, I could see that. I don't.
I'm gonna go with old Prius.
Old Prius.
That's gonna be my final answer.
All right. I think I'm with you on that. I could see that, like a first gen Prius. I could definitely see that. I think I think if it's not a first gen Prius, which I think is a good answer, I think really old Nissan Leaf where the batteries aren't doing too good no more. I think like where she's getting like 30 kilometers of charge because she only goes to her political office and back, and it's like 10 kilometers, 7 miles, whatever, something like that. So she doesn't notice. And then one time she goes for a really long trip, and then she's like, "Why is it dying?" So I was supposed to have 100 kilometers. So I think it's. I agree. I think it's a shitty old EV. Just it's not a good EV. It's a bad EV. Like it's like a bad old EV, or a old hybrid that like barely functions. We're there. I think. I don't even necessarily feel like I'm making that much fun of her. I just think that's a realistic.
I genuinely think it's something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. This isn't that funny. Okay, let's try another one. So we'll move to the left. So let's move to the right a little bit. So the leader of the it's the New Democratic Party, right? The NDP.
Yes, that's what NDP stands for.
Right. Jagmeet Singh. I fucking hate this guy. We'll talk about him a little bit, then we'll get into. So basically, his thing is I'm hip with the kids, and it's fucking frustrating.
He's really fallen off in the last, like 7-8 years ago, like even 6 years ago, like tolerable person.
Mm-hmm.
Last 2 or so, not so much.
There is something that set me off in the last couple of years where I'm
completely nosedived the party.
Yeah, 100%. He killed they lost party status.
Yeah, like he's going to be replaced after this election. So
yeah, he's resigned.
So for all we know, he might be taking the bus now.
Yeah. Okay, but when he was in his prime, being that he's the hyper socialist party, my first thought when I got to this idea was he's borrowing your car. Like he doesn't own a car. He's like, "Hey bro, can I get to store?" Like that's his thing. Because alternatively, I don't know, it would be in my mind some sort of shitbox. Or
in my mind, it's like in my mind, it's like a beige or burgundy like 2016 Highlander.
2016 Highlander. What makes you say that? I need the thought process.
It just looks like I look at him and that's the first thing that comes into my mind.
My first thought is, can we just Google what the most popular car for an Uber Eats driver is?
It's a beige Camry with a dent in the corner.
It's a beige Camry. Yeah, I think it's that. No, I could see that, but I think that there's something about like these. Not all of them. I'm not ruffling any feathers, but there's something about these socialistic guys where they preach it, but they don't necessarily believe what they're saying. So he would either drive like a real shitbox and he's really into the cause and that's his thing. Like he's like, I drive a.
I already know that isn't the case because there was a video of him a few years ago walking out of I forget what store it was in downtown Toronto. I think it might have been Louis Vuitton.
Oh fuck.
After making some purchases.
Of course.
So okay. I don't think it's a shitbox.
No, it's not. Okay, so in my mind, if you're trying to become a socialist dictator and you need to appear that you're of the people, right? You can't have a luxury brand vehicle. It has to but it has to be an economy car brand, but like the nicest one. You know what I mean?
Look, 2016 Toyota Highlander.
That's what so I agree with you there. But maybe new Land Rover. Or sorry, not Land Rover, new Land Cruiser, excuse me. You don't think?
I don't think.
It's a hybrid.
I don't think Land Cruiser. I think I'm sticking with previous gen Toyota Highlander.
Okay, I'm going to double check. I'm fairly certain I know which one this is. 2016 Highlander.
You'll know it as soon as you see it.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, but I just feel like it's not secretly luxury enough. Like, I see what you're saying.
Terms, you can get cooled seats, heated seats.
You know what he would... If this was 10, 12 years ago, VW Phaeton.
Ooh, yes.
if this was a little while ago, but he wouldn't.
Yes.
He wouldn't do that now. Or
Yep.
Arteon, like that's a nice VW.
Yeah, maybe. The only thing that the Phaeton has going against it is that I think in 1 year in Canada they literally sold 3 of them.
And two of them were to him. So there you go. I
It was it wasn't a hugely popular car at all, but it was not popular at all in Canada.
no.
Nobody was buying Phaetons here,
The only
which
people
is
who
a bit of
bought
a
it.
shame because they're really interesting.
No, they're really cool. I mean, yeah, like the new Volkswagen Phaeton. This picture with an article that says it's delayed again looks like an Arteon, and I think the Arteon is the top of VW's like luxury offering. But I don't think a political dictator would necessarily drive a sedan. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I
no,
think you know what.
I think the Phaeton had something that the Arteon doesn't,
Mm, the
and
power
it
to
was
get away.
probably the W12 engine.
Yeah, the
It
power
was
to get away.
basically like a stealth Bentley.
That's yeah. It's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. Hmm. You know what? I'm gonna concede. I think you've got a point. I think previous gen Highlander. It's a good answer. I would like something more interesting. I seriously think if this was 10, 12 years ago, it would be the Phaeton, no question. It would be like, no, I drive VW, huh, the people's car, and it's like the literally a fucking Bentley underneath. Like that's the most like socialist, like I'm like you, like hey fellow kids, fucking car that exists. Oh fuck, I fucking hate Jagmeet. I'm so glad we shot that guy. Like it's over for him. It's so over. It's just
Yeah, he literally they lost party status, and
yeah.
you can't lead after that.
You cannot, and he had to leave disgraced. Love that for us. Love that for us. I hope they get a new. Listen, back in the day, and Americans sorry about this, but like when they had a leader back in the day, Jack Layton, he was doing some good shit. That
He was
guy,
doing some good shit.
he was a good leader, and it's been downhill ever since. And Jagmeet is
Yeah, I think that
hopefully the
was like
bottom.
the one time the NDP actually had the chance of winning,
Yeah,
um, like the federal election
yeah,
was under his leadership.
they got damn close. So,
Yep.
rip to that guy. I think he died of brain cancer. It's like a fucking real shame.
Yeah, it wasn't something nice.
No, it was not something nice. And I
I
think
mean, dying is never nice, but
no. No, but dying in your sleep is like, oh, it's so quaint. But like dying of brain cancer is pretty fucking horrific. So
yeah.
yeah, no, but nobody deserves that. I think someone who I do believe actually cared about people definitely didn't deserve that. His successors have been nothing but liars, though. So that's my opinion.
Yeah.
And Jagmeet's been the latest fuck up. I hope this is the bottom for them. I hope that it's up from here. I genuinely do.
I mean, they really can't go anywhere but up. I hope.
Yeah, we need a new Phaeton. We need a new
They literally
Phaeton.
lost party status. Like,
No, you can't. You literally can't get any lower than this. You imagine they disappear after this? Like, did they just fucking disappear into the wind? That would be
yeah, like
crazy.
that's literally that's like one rung below where they currently are on the ladder.
Yeah. The only thing lower than them is Green Party. That's it. It's not saying a lot because the poor
It's
lady
worse
Elizabeth
than
May.
not
But
existing, being in the Green Party.
yeah. I respect her. She's a little nuts, but like she talks a good game. Like she talks like a Bentley owner. But she drives a Prius. So who
Oh
knows?
yeah. 100%.
We could put away the fucking socialists for now. Let's talk about the progressive. So, liberals. We have for those who don't know, there's been a big hubbub. We had Trudeau. Everybody in the world knows who Trudeau is because he's very embarrassing. So,
Yes.
even if you are a liberal, you don't like him. We very over him.
Started strong, fell off pretty fast.
Yeah. I never liked him, but I will say I saw immediately when people were like, "Oh, he's made a mistake." Like pretty quickly. And yet still remained in power for 10 years. It's 3 elections he went through, right? If I recall correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a lot. Oh,
Yeah.
either way. But now
But
and
basically, he stepped down, and now we have Mr. Mark Carney, which he really only won the election in the last sort of 2 months.
mhm.
And I mean, I guess as a quick background, because I don't even know who he was before this, but he did run the Bank of Canada through the recession in 2008, and then he led the Bank of Britain through Brexit. So um, very fiscally responsible, apparently.
Allegedly.
Um, we'll see how it goes.
Very eco-minded. I will say I very much
Yeah,
disagree with his views.
he's very. I don't really know where I'd put him specifically on the spectrum.
What do you mean?
'Cause
In
he's
what
not
spectrum?
he's not really very left.
He's
Like he's left leaning, but he's got a bit of conservative mentality. I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I agree with you. Like he's not. We've had a big. Again, this is mostly context for people who don't know. If you're Canadian,
Like
you
he's not
know.
as left as Trudeau.
No, not by a long
Is
shot.
probably as best as I can put it
No,
right now.
but Trudeau might as well have been the leader of the NDP with how left-leaning the guy was. So, I mean, I don't know. Either way, I love him, hate him. We're not here to change your
We're
opinion.
stuck with him for
We're
4 years,
stuck with
and quite frankly, we're not rich enough for it to really matter, anyways.
No, not really.
It's gonna suck for us either way.
It's gonna stink no
No matter
matter
who.
what. So, yeah. So So he's pretty fiscally minded. So okay. So here's my perspective on how this would go. We could go the route of no. I just want a reliable car. I'd like a new one to get the warranty, and I'll get the extended warranty, but nothing too expensive. Could be that. Could be, and this is just I don't know anything about the guy personally. Like I only know his policy. Could also be the kind of, if he's a banker, fiscally minded, could be the kind of guy who buys exotics and like puts them in a garage.
So I don't. Again, I don't know too much about him. Apparently, he grew up fairly middle class, but he's got money now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say, and this is literally just by knowing what the guy looks like and the very little bit I know about his background. I'm going to say Lexus LS
Ooh. You think?
or Audi A6.
Okay. Now, do you think that he is the kind of person who would have a driver? Just not. I know he's a PM, so he's a prime minister, but like just have
Just
a thought.
if he wasn't the PM.
If he wasn't a PM, but he is an investment. Well, I don't know if he's an investment banker, but he is a banker, right?
I think he would drive himself.
You think? Okay.
I think he would drive himself, but want to do it in a level of comfort.
Okay.
Which is why I'm thinking a Lexus LS or A6, because they are luxurious, they are comfortable, but they are both kind of understated in the right trim.
I think understated makes sense for him. I think understated makes sense. I wonder if
He wants to be comfortable. He doesn't want to show everybody how comfortable he is.
Right. Now here's my thought. I generally agree with you, but as we know, to our dismay, because we like sedans, we don't really like SUVs. Sedans are trending downward and SUVs are trending upward. So my thought would be maybe an SUV equivalent of something in that tier. Or do you think that he's like, no, the sedan is better value? But he is older.
I feel like he's of the age where they like sedans.
Yeah? Do you think he's also,
Yeah.
that's the thing, he's also older. Even my mom, who's, I don't know actually, how old is Mark Carney? But he, like, I know that they like to be able to get into things easily. You know? Like, they don't like to, oh, he's 60. I feel like he would want to get into something with ease at that age. But you know what? Yeah, okay, you know what? I see what you're saying. He does seem like the kind of guy who would drive like a nice, like, long sedan. Lots of space.
Yeah,
for
like
things.
I think yeah, I'm still saying Lexus LS or A6. The A6 would be like it wouldn't have any of like the S line options that Audi offers. It would be purely focused towards luxury. Like it's probably like the chrome grilled version.
Okay, no, I see what you're saying.
Or like silver wheels or something like that.
Hmm.
You know, like it's comfort oriented.
Right. I think okay,
But
I can
like
see that.
looking at it, you could still mistake it for like a base model A4.
He's definitely not a Beamer man. Let's say that. He's definitely not.
Not a Beamer
man. No, not a Beamer man. I agree with Audi. I wonder if the conscientious mind in him, I think maybe would lean Lexus, but I think, You know what BMW has? Sorry, what Audi has that BMW does not is their economy brand, right? So with VW, you have a lot of parts are shared, right? So a lot of
Hmm.
parts are better tested, and you don't have this mindset with BMW where it's okay, it's a luxury car, and luxury cars do this thing. I think Audis appeal more to someone who's conscientious but wants luxury. So you know what, Nick? I think you got a good one here. I think you got like dead on. The only thing that I could see maybe further. Do you remember that Top Gear bit about the A8 customer, the kind of man who drives an A8? He's mostly married. I think
Yes.
that Mark Carney could be mostly married. I think he could be an A8
Yeah,
driver.
he could be an A8 man. I think. See, I think he drives himself,
Yes.
so he's an A6 man. If he had a driver, I feel like he'd have an A8 long wheelbase.
Okay. I'm on board. I'm on board. So now as PM, he definitely has an A8, is what we're saying, since somebody will be driving him.
I certainly hope so.
I hope so. He's gonna have some stupid EV. That's the thing. Okay, sorry. This is the element I wanted to address. I agree with all of your assessment if he wasn't an environmental lunatic. So that's the problem, right? Lucid.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's a lot of environmental lunatics out there that still take their private jet everywhere. So
Yeah, but that to them in their brain that doesn't count for some reason.
yeah, but like the same thing extends down to cars a lot of the time.
Sure.
It only matters what other people are doing, not yourself. Remember?
Right. Well, I'm thinking maybe he could be a lucid man, but lucids lose value like no tomorrow, and a banker with a financial mind wouldn't find himself in a lucid, I think. Because they're 120K
No,
brand
I don't
new,
think.
in 2 years they're
No.
60K. So, yeah,
Hmm.
all
Those
right.
are.
Is
No,
there
hold
an
on.
A6
Put mine up.
is there an
I'm looking. I know exactly where you're going
Okay.
with this. Um. No, there is not an A6 hybrid
Or an electric?
or EV, but there is. Audi does have the what's it called?
The e-tron?
The e-tron, but
Hmm.
I don't see that for him.
No, I agree with you. It's not a luxury car. It's almost a sports car, really. I mean, it's an electric sports car, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, actually, they have the A6 e-tron now.
Do
That's new
they?
for this year. I
Oh
literally
yeah.
just found it
I saw it
this.
unveiled at the fucking auto show. What am I talking about? Okay, A6 e-tron. Yeah.
That's a solid maybe. I still feel like the understatedness of the regular A6 is more up his alley, but
Yeah.
if he's that environmentally conscious, I could see an e-tron.
You know what? I think you're probably right where it's like a for thee not for me situation where he's like
Hmm.
everybody must do, and also he's big on the two carbon tax, so that's his idea. So maybe he's like, oh, I'm paying. See, I've put a price on it. I'm paying now. My conscience is clear. Okay, I think we're good. I think you're right. I think A6 is where it's at. I think it's where it's at. Oh, I hope he has a fucking A8 now. I really hope with somebody driving him. Oh fuck, that'd be good. That's the dream.
Right? Like he definitely should have like a bulletproof A8 long wheelbase.
That'd be sweet. I wish. Let's find at the end of this. Let's Google and see if we can find out what they actually drive. Um, okay, so we've got we're moving slightly right now. We're moving towards the Progressive Conservative Party of Canada. Leader, for now at least, Pierre Poilievre. He's the one who was running against Carney. Like we said, they're not really like the same as the American right wing party. They're a little more mild, but they don't really care about stuff like, they would have scrapped the carbon tax. So they're definitely more gasoline minded. We have big reserves of gasoline in Canada in the ground in Alberta, and there are limits as to how much they can remove from the ground. And there's a whole slew of stuff he wanted to just cut through. That was his thing. Now we as car people like that part. Obviously, we like that part. So what do you think? Because he's he likes gas.
I I feel like Dodge Ram Laramie, like the
Really?
highest end Dodge Ram you could
Is it
get, because
Lariat?
his whole thing is like he's the prime minister for the people. He's a
Yeah.
people's person.
Sure. No,
He's relatable,
I
and
uh,
they love themselves a pickup truck in Alberta.
they do love a pickup truck in Alberta, but my thought, and he's from like kind of rural Ontario or something, right? Like that's where his riding was that he lost, but something like
Yeah,
that.
I think so. I think it's somewhere near Ottawa,
Yeah, somewhere there.
kind of
Uh,
out in the sticks by there. But yeah, if it's not a like a Ram Laramie, I feel like it's some sort of higher end luxury pickup truck
that's what I
trim.
was gonna say. I think that they do that thing that rich people like to do, where they're like, they need to see me succeeding so they can be inspired to succeed. If you do that and you have money, can you fucking kill yourself, please? It's the most embarrassing shit in the world. Like, if I see you in a fucking Rolls Royce, suddenly I will have a Rolls Royce. Like, come on, man. It's
Yeah,
not
like
relatable.
I don't think he'd be like a Rolls or a Bentley
No.
guy. I do think it's like luxury pickup truck because from the outside it looks like, oh, he's just a regular guy, but it's got all the bells and whistles on the inside.
Right. So, what are you thinking? So, the top end Dodge Ram, do you think he'd be a. What's that top end F 150? The Velociraptor
The
that Hennessy
Lariat.
does?
No, I'm thinking. So okay, this is going to be a bit of a rabbit hole
Go ahead.
because truck trims are just fucked.
Yeah.
There's so many different things.
Truck people, fuck you. Go ahead.
So like trucks all have like weight classes, right? Like there's 150, 250, 350, 450, etc. And then in each of those classes there's different trims.
Mm,
And then there's the the special trims that aren't really associated to a class, like the Ram TRX or the Ford Raptor and Velociraptor,
right.
which are just sort of they're based on like the 150 chassis, but they're sort of their own thing.
Mm,
So I don't think he's a T-Rex or a Raptor or Velociraptor person. I think he's like an F-150 or an F-250, like no dually rear axle, just standard body
mm,
with either like a V8 or a diesel, but like the high-end luxury trim.
right.
So the Dodge Ram historically is the Laramie trim. The F-150 is the Lariat, and I don't know what Chevy's Silverado or
Which one is
the
the King
GMC Sierra
Ranch?
trim that is.
Is the King Ranch a Dodge truck?
No, King Ranch is Ford.
Mm, okay. Yeah, I think I'm. Man, you're really good at this. I think that I'm generally in agreement with you. My only question would then be like, do you think that he? Because I, okay. There's there's a little part of me that wonders if he would go that far or if he'd be a little bit of a sports car man. Because I know I see you're shaking your head, but let me plead my case, right? Let me plead my case. I think not high end, not supercar, nothing like that. I think that he wants to connect with people. He'd have like a muscle car, if anything, right? That's a very, or alternatively, what I also wanted to say was if he has a truck, from what you were saying, it would have to be one that was produced in Canada, like a Dodge or a Ford or whatever, the top trim, but it's
Mhm.
made here. You know what I mean? Like like I
Yeah,
buy
I
the
can see
Canadian
that.
made product, even though it's an American company, but like they build them here. You know what I mean? So whichever that
Yeah,
is. Now you don't think he would ever be a muscle car man?
I don't. I can't see him in like a Challenger or a Charger.
I was thinking
Anything.
Mustang.
There is a video of him driving a Z06 around. I forget what track at Mosport. I think it is.
There you go. So
But it's like a press event,
right,
and I feel like you can tell that he's there just because it's a press event, not
right.
because he wants to drive a Z06.
I can see what you're saying. I can see what you're saying. Okay, I'll concede it.
So like I do think like luxurious truck is where
Luxurious truck.
he lands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the kind of guy who would just pick up things from your front lawn and throw them in the bed of his truck and sort of drive away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like he's got a pickup truck, but he never really uses the bed to
No.
move things.
It's a nice pickup
He
truck
just
with
wants to
Jag
be
energy.
relatable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. No, he's like he's got a nice pickup truck and he doesn't fill the tank full kind of thing. Because those tanks are fucking big, but like he's like, oh, it's expensive. You know what I mean? Like he's the kind of
Yeah.
nice pickup truck, but he wants his friends to chip in for gas. That's weird.
Yeah.
Can we go on a minor tangent? At
Yeah.
what point do you stop asking for gas money? At what point is it embarrassing to ask for gas money? Like what age? I'm not saying this if you're not in a great financial state. I'm not saying that. But like I know people who make good money, and I insist on driving because I don't want to do this. Like they're like, oh, you want to split on gas? I'm like, dude, you're 37. Like, you know what I mean? Like I know that you make a good amount of money. When you're a teenager, it makes sense.
I I don't really care about the gas thing. Like I don't know. For me, it's like if we're doing like thousands of kilometers together,
Sure.
like if I'm doing more than one full tank of gas,
Yes.
sure, we can split the gas bill.
Yeah, I agree on that.
But if you know, if we're leaving on full and I'm coming back on a quarter tank, then fuck it, I'll pay for the gas.
Yeah. I will say I'm pretty. I don't think I've ever. The only okay, yeah. The one time that I do is like you said, like a big road trip. Like when I like would drive into the States with my friends, and I'm like, this is expensive, right? This is like $200 of gas. Like I'm not eating that. Any other time, I'm not even gonna. I would never bring it up. But that's just the way that I am personally. But I think that there's a certain point in your life where, yeah, if you've ever run up against that, where like you're like, you're a little old for this, and I know you make decent money, where it's like, let's split the gas, bro. Have you never had that experience?
No.
All right, automotive experiences.
And part of the reason is because I've generally just never drive people anywhere.
Yeah. Lucky you.
I'm very much I'm very much like oh, you need a ride? Well, that sucks.
Yeah, Nick.
For you.
When I told Nick when I bought my car, I was telling him how I like to carry people around because I'm like, I bought a car. I just figured they'd figure it out. Nope, they'll squeeze in the back. And he's like, yeah, you need to start just telling them, you need a ride. That sucks. He does not do rides. So if you ever see Nick at an event, he will not give you a ride. Actually, he might give you a ride in the MR2 for fun, but not to the grocery store or something. He won't do that. No.
You're on your own.
You're on your own, buddy. All right, we saved. Oh no, wait, sorry. We have the PPC, and then we've got Block. So we've got.
Yes.
We agree that Pierre, bless his heart, drives a pickup truck he never uses the bed of, a very high trim luxury pickup truck. So PPC, to give people an idea of who Maxime Bernier is, the fucking loser. He looks like, and you can Google him, he looks like a cartoon banker villain, is kind of his look, is kind of his deal. And I don't like to judge people before I've ever met them, but I do a lot. But like with him, I definitely don't feel bad. He's a weird fucking guy. He's like, this is not a political thing. It's not even about that. We're not doing politics. I'm purely making fun of the way he looks. So if this is going to get taken down for bullying, good, because I am bullying him. You've got a party made up mostly, weirdly, of people that I think you wouldn't let in the country if you were the prime minister, which I find strange. Like every time I pass by a sign that says like PPC, who are like super anti-immigration, like no brown people allowed, it's always a brown guy smiling at me from the sign, where I'm like, I don't think he wants you here, man. So like, he's a weird guy, and he lost his seat, which is really funny. He's basically like a cartoon villain, but
honestly,
with very little money.
Their run was the COVID election. Like that was their one chance.
Yeah,
and that's it. They're gonna disappear.
I really hope so, because I don't think there's any reason for them to exist. Because nobody really believes the word that they have to say, other than like kind of the crazy people who for some reason still can vote. I don't know. I think that there's everybody brings a good thing to the table. I just have difficulty finding his. So I don't know. Anyway, so a cartoon banker villain, but the kind of guy who maybe all his cars are leases and he's kind of always upside down on them. You know what I mean? Like he's always
So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
It sounds like you have something loaded.
I'm fucking ready to pull the trigger.
Okay. My thought, I have a feeling I'm not gonna get the same as your answer, but that's okay. So my thought is, first of all, I want to state it is a lease. Let's start with that. It's a lease that he's flipped negative equity into, or a finance he's flipped negative equity into. I feel like I have to. Negative equity is when the car's worth less money than you owe to the bank. So if your car's worth 30 grand and you owe 40,
So
negative.
negative equity is when the car is worth less than the loan on it.
Yeah. So
Oh yeah, sorry. When basically you owe more money to the bank than the car is worth.
exactly. So to get out of that loan, you can't just sell the car and walk away. You got to cough up whatever it is, 10 grand. A lot of people like
Yeah.
to do this thing. You've seen it on Instagram, kids, where they'll call a dealer and be like, yeah, I owe whatever amount of money on a car that's not even close to being worth that. And then somehow these guys, sometimes they'll be able to flip that negative equity. So they'll roll it into another car loan. This is how you kind of stretch and give yourself breathing room, but it's always a bad idea, pretty much.
This is what you do when all you think about is the monthly payment.
Pretty much. You can do that on a very, very economy vehicle. You really can't do that on luxury cars because they depreciate into the ground. This is basically what everybody who buys a Maserati does. Speaking of Maserati, Nick's face. So speaking of Maserati, I am 150% convinced that this motherfucker drives a Maserati Ghibli, but this is a big but. It always has a check engine light on, and he is absolutely upside down on that loan. Nick, I give you the floor. What do you think?
I was gonna say he either has a 10 to 12-year-old Maserati Quattroporte,
Okay.
or like a late 2010s Jag on
100%.
Linglongs.
100% on Ling Longs or West Lakes or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh my
He's
god.
got a very it's definitely a very poorly maintained, slightly older used luxury vehicle
I tend to agree.
that was bought older and used because it's lost most of its value.
I'm pretty much 100% in agreement. Yeah. I think we're in the same world. Now for the fun part, Nick. Bloc Québécois. What do those funny little Frenchies... I feel like we haven't talked about Quebec. Like, have we
They'll
explained...
probably hate us for that.
Okay. Let's give them the rundown. Nick, if I were to walk into a dealership and the Carfax said the car was from Quebec, what does that mean?
Means you're going home without a car.
Yeah. Yeah. For the uninitiated,
Yeah,
for a long time, I don't know if this has changed recently, but you should still stick to the rule.
it's still a thing.
If a car comes from Quebec, sometimes the car originated in Ontario and then goes to Quebec and then it comes back to Ontario. If you look at the Carfax, nothing will be there, though it is in fact two cars welded together. The reason for this? Because Quebec doesn't share title history. So car could have had 6 accidents on it. And then they send it to Quebec, they register it, they drive it for a day, and then they send it back to Ontario. They don't even have to drive it for the day, but whatever, let's give them credit. And then they register it again in Ontario, and all you will see is the Quebec registration at whatever mile, 88,000 kilometers, etc. So the title will be washed. Why Quebec does this, we've no personal idea, but we could come up with a really shitty mean idea about it.
Well, I mean, it's really profitable if you can get people to buy the cars.
Yeah, I mean, you're paying the tax in Quebec, so...
Yeah. So, Quebec is the title wash province. So it's not just cars from Ontario. They'll buy cars from, like, flood cars from the States or wherever, and they'll go through Quebec, and suddenly they've been unflooded.
Mm-hmm. It's like Divine, you know?
I don't know what the leader of Bloc would drive.
I'm. Do you remember we sometimes the Quebecers will actually leave their province to buy a car and then go because they don't trust their own vehicles.
Yes.
I'm thinking that he's that kind of man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what? I feel like he's very he's for the province, but he knows the shit that goes on there, and he doesn't want to.
100% agree with you.
I always suck at pronouncing. I think his name is Yves Francois Blanchette.
Yes,
if I got that wrong, I'm sure somebody from Quebec will let me know.
Yeah.
What does Eve drive?
So I'm thinking that
They're just mad that they don't sell Renault and Citroen here.
they're
That's really it.
pissed. They're pissed. If he could, he would drive a Citroen or a Renault, but he can't. Peugeot is also French, right? Peugeot?
Are they?
Where are they from? We don't get, for the international
have.
listeners, we don't actually get those cars here. So, oh, they are.
Oh,
they're
they are
French.
French. Yeah,
Okay.
Peugeot's French. Yeah,
He's,
we
yeah.
used to get Renaults and Citroens, I think. Long time ago, like 70s and 80s. And then they left.
Yeah, they fucked up.
What would Eve drive?
See, I'm thinking that it's something.
That's tough. It's nothing German.
No, never. Nothing American. We 100% agree. Nothing produced in Canada.
You know what I think?
Tell me.
Volvo.
You think he's a Volvo man?
Mm-hmm.
I could see it.
I think. What does Volvo have in their lineup right now?
Some. You think he's a station wagon man?
I'm gonna look at their lineup and I definitely think he's a Volvo man.
You don't think he's a V90 man by any chance, do you? I don't know. Go ahead.
I think he's either an XC90
Okay.
or does Volvo still have the S90?
Do they?
I'm saying either
They do.
XC90 or S90.
No, S90, 100% S90. I am 100% S90. That is the car of someone who thinks they're very important. That's the car. That's nearing black cab status, and it would be black. 100%. It would be black or beige. It might be beige.
It would. You know what it would be? It would be black, but it would have like a creamy or beige interior.
Ooh. Oh yeah. They make a brown interior. I think it would be the brown interior.
Oh, it would have this interior where this one 100%.
Oh,
but
the white.
Outside.
Okay. So black outside, but it's almost like like a cream white interior with a brown wood. Yes.
Yes.
That's definitely what he drives. I'm on board with you. I wasn't fully there when you said Volvo, but S90, I'm right there with you. This is the kind of car for a man who believes he's making a difference. You know what I mean? He's the kind of guy he's very bold when he comes home, you know, and his wife's sick of him.
The S90 is a very big fish in a small pond car.
I would even go like the opposite. I would go small fish desiring to be the big fish. But then again, I guess
that's what I mean, like big fish in a small pond, but small fish in a big pond.
Oh, okay. Yes. I do tend to agree with you. And I think once the warranty is out, he'll be very frustrated. We'll get a shaky video of him getting mad at a dealership. When they're like, "What do you mean the warranty expired yesterday?" You know, but screaming in French. To me, that's what makes sense. You don't think he would drive an EV?
No.
No, not.
No, I don't think so.
The
S90 is I think it's a plug-in.
Is
hybrid. I'm not 100%
let's see. Sedans, S60. Oh, fully electric. SUVs and crossovers, wagons. I don't actually see the S90 on their website. It's in there, if you look for it, the page is there, but it's not actually in the menu, I think. Unless
it is a hybrid.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you find it on
the website? And they have a long wheelbase version as well.
He definitely drives a long wheelbase.
Long wheelbase is China only.
Ah, fuck. If he could get it, he would. And he would still drive himself. That's my favorite kind of guy. The guy who owns like what should be a limousine, but he drives himself. Like that's the conundrum with like the Phantom and stuff. You want to drive your $300,000 car, but you really should be driven in your $300,000 car. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shame.
You know, S90. Wow, it has a twin charged inline four
Really?
with
Oh yeah.
hybrid.
A lot of Volvos do. Even the one that I was looking at that you dissuaded me from has a twin charged inline four,
Well, you
supercharged
should
and
be thankful
turbocharged.
because that's gonna be a fucking nightmare when it breaks.
Oh yeah, and it will break. And it will break. So I love Volvos. Like that's the kind of there's a little bit of that craziness in there with a twin charging. Like you could have just put a bigger supercharger, a bigger turbo.
It's very Swedish. The designs are very nice. It's very, and then you open the hood, it's like what?
Yeah, but that's like their
Is that
craziness.
what the inside of a Swedish person's head looks like?
I think it does. That's exactly what the inside of a Swedish person's head looks like. How much does the S90 start at if you were to purchase one?
I don't.
Is it a hybrid? It's an electric. I don't see it on their website. Is it China only?
Maybe not. Well, no, they had it in Canada at some point because I see them on Auto Trader.
Right. Maybe
they
this
start
year
at
it's
60
discontinued.
US, so I don't know.
80,
Look,
90?
Let's be honest. He's not getting a base S90. I'm gonna
No,
go
of
with
course not.
Anywhere from 85 to 100 grand
He's using taxpayer dollars. Of course he's not getting a base.
for the block S90.
Yeah. No, the block. It comes with 2 accidents from the factory. As soon as it's delivered in Quebec, 2 accidents. But it's okay because when he sells it to his buddy who lives in Ottawa, just over the river.
Clean.
Yeah.
Fairfax.
Clean title. Mismatched panels, don't worry. Don't worry about it.
As long as it's painted the same color.
Oh, they'll make sure to do that in the shop with some spray cans to make sure that it's all the same color. Yeah. That's what they do. Every car from Quebec is clean and there's nothing wrong with them. As we know. Nothing wrong with them.
Everything from Quebec car-wise is perfect.
Yeah, and if you're from Quebec and this bothers you, not sorry. Your cars are stupid and you're a plague on everybody else.
Scrap.
Yeah, stop selling us crap. Petition your government. You love to parade in the street and, do protests. Protest on this one.
I've always said Auto Trader and Kijiji should have like a search nationally except Quebec option.
I wish. Sometimes I'll do Auto Trader goes like, oh, would you like 250 kilometers away? But then I start to get Quebec. And that's the problem. Like
Can you just touch in the border?
I wish it was like at the minimum search on all of Ontario, or like you said, 250 kilometers away without Quebec. That would be.
It's like sometimes I want to see what's out there in like Alberta or BC or something, but I don't want to know what's in Quebec.
No, I have
irrelevant.
No desire. I have to then change my address to be in Alberta and then 250 kilometers from there to see what's in Alberta, because otherwise it's just Quebec. So we would like, as a personal petition to autotrader.ca, if you'd be so kind, please make a button that says no Quebec. We'd really appreciate it. So yeah, that's basically the Canadian political parties and what they drive. Now, I think it would be interesting. I doubt the information is online there, but let's have a look.
I was looking at. I specifically looked for Carney and Pierre, and there's nothing as to what they actually drive.
No. Okay. Is there really not going to be anything?
I could not find a thing.
Elizabeth May posted something about driving a car. Nope, that's just a campaign van. Guess we will never know. I guess they protect them because if you know what they drive, you're gonna have a look around.
There was one news post from years ago in 2019 about Elizabeth May driving a Viper.
That I see that. I'm looking at that right now. Okay. I mean, it's a Gen 1 Viper. That's pretty cool. Is she driving it or is she just in the passenger seat?
Oh no, she's just passenger. She's waving out of it, so she wasn't even driving it. But apparently Green Party followers, they didn't take too kindly to that.
Oh yeah, I see. It was a rainy day ride for sure and not a green vehicle. Local YYJ volunteer Pat Perone owns this 1994 Viper. I rode where parade organizers asked me to. and people are, I guess, mad at her. So, I mean, that's a fun one. Having to beat back your base. All right, let's see if we can at least find any news stories related to driving. So let's go Jagmeet Singh car. Let's see what we find. Oh. That is interesting.
What?
So there is an article. I'm just trying to look for the date. 2011. This is when he was still an MPP. This was before he was the leader of the the NDP. I would like you, Nick, if you had to guess, other than what we said, if I said, believe it or not, it's a sporty vehicle.
A sporty vehicle.
Jagmeet Singh drove, past tense, a sporty vehicle. What would you say that it was?
Can I ask one question?
You may ask 2 questions, because I think, no, you'll start with one and I'll give you another one if I feel like it's loose.
Is it 2-door sporty or 4-door sporty?
It is, in fact, 2-door sporty.
2-door sporty. Oh, from 2011?
Yes.
2-door sporty from 2011.
Mm-hmm.
2-door sporty from 2011. Is it... I want to say it's either a 335i or a Z4.
No way you didn't look that up. You can't.
No.
You can't.
I did not look it up.
Okay, it's a Z4
You saw
coupe.
my hands the whole fucking
That's
time.
true. That's true. I did see your hands. That's just impressive. It's a Z4 coupe. A Z4 coupe. Here's the photo. Not that it really matters. They've cut off his head. They've beheaded him in this one. But if you look at that is in fact a Z4 coupe.
Yeah, that is a Z4M.
M coupe. Yeah. Sorry. Yep.
Wow.
Right. Isn't that shocking? Now, this isn't like current. Obviously, this is 14 years ago, but
well,
still.
I mean, if he was making Z4M money back then, well, fuck, maybe he doesn't have a 2016 Highlander. Maybe he does actually have the Lexus GX or the fucking Land Cruiser today.
Oh, wait a minute. There is, if you'll believe this, there is apparently a video of his home where there is a black Z4 coupe, M coupe, I think. If you look at that, still in his driveway. That's from 2021. Isn't that surprising?
Likes his Z4 coupes. I mean, I still don't like him, but I can respect that.
No, I don't like him. I just, that's surprising. Would you hazard a guess? Okay, it appears it's not on dignitary plates, but he does own one more vehicle, at least that I can find. And it is an SUV that a politician might drive.
Yeah. I am not... No, an SUV that a politician might drive. The only thing that comes to mind when I think of like SUV that a politician might drive is like an Escalade or something.
No, but he does in fact drive a Maserati. A Maserati, whatever the fuck this is. I don't even keep up with the model. What is that?
Is it the Levante?
Yes, it's the Levante. He drives a Maserati Levante, and he was caught going, I guess, hopping out of one or getting into one. When is this article from? Let's see. 2024. This was November 29th, 2024. So this was about 6 months ago. So not the most impressive vehicle, but yeah, it tracks. It kind of tracks.
Yeah, I mean, well, my guess of 2016 Highlander is way the fuck wrong.
No, I'm shocked that he would have such a blatant luxury vehicle, but I assume he didn't think people would know. It's also such
I mean, at the same time, like once you get to that level, I feel like you're just Like once you cross, I want to say like once you cross the 220 to $250,000 a year mark, a lot of people tend to start being just a little bit out of touch.
Right. Now, allegedly, he was getting into the passenger seat of this vehicle.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would still.
I tried looking up Mark Carney, and the only thing I could really see or find on him was from when he was doing like the Bank of England stuff, and he was always getting in and out of Land Rovers or Jags.
Really? Oh, well, England. I mean,
Yeah.
it does make sense.
That's as close as I can get to what he drives or has.
All right. And we've got nothing on. We saw Polyev driving as at 06, but that's really it.
At a press event.
Excuse me. What about our friend Maxime Bernier? Car. Let's see what comes up. Nothing. Yeah, I mean that basically tracks. There's really nothing there. Like nobody gives a shit about this guy.
Yeah, there is one picture I found of him from 2019 of him getting out of what looks like the back of an Audi.
Yeah, I think I see which one you're talking about in front of all the Jag Meat signs.
I don't know what model it is. I don't know if it's an A5 Sportback or it doesn't look big enough to be a 7 or 8, and it doesn't look sedan enough to be a 6.
I think it might be a 5.
Yeah, I think it might be like an A5 Sportback.
I mean that basic. What did we say he drove?
I said old Quattroporte or old Jag.
Oh right, and I said
Ghibli.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. I guess we can't really find out in this case, but and then let's have a look. What was the last oh no, I guess that's Block. What is his name? There he is.
Yves Francois
Blanchet.
Okay,
let's see what he drives. Let's have a look. There's a picture of him parading out of the back of some kind of. Oh, it's a Mustang. But
yes, that is Mustang.
It's a S550 Mustang. I mean, oh, this is 2019. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of stylish. For parading, it's okay. He might kill a bunch of people, but he's also not driving. So it's kind of Kennedy-esque, though, the way that he's got it set up. He's kind of sitting up in the back. That makes me nervous. You know, like that's
literally the only thing I can see of him in or near a car.
It's actually a whole Mustang parade.
I find was him on like his oh my god, what's the word I'm looking for? The campaign bus.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't actually see anything else. But as far as being in a car, I mean, it's not too bad. We've seen worse.
It's not bad at all.
No, it's not bad at all. Well, all right. I guess some of them, I mean, kind of impressed us, and some of them shocked us, and I don't know, not too bad. I'm very shocked at Jagmeet.
I mean, yeah, the Z4M coupe surprised me. I will say that.
It's very, for someone of his, I guess, station, I don't know what to call it, and his whole, like, I'm a left guy, you know, and it's not very socialist, is it? It's not.
Yeah, like having a two-door coupe with a 8,300 RPM redline straight six with ITBs, not very leftist.
Yeah, the Levant as well, the Maserati SUV, not very lefty.
No, not very leftist at all.
I'm starting to wonder if Jagmeet doesn't believe the things he says.
I'm
starting to think Jagmeet's a liar.
Leftist for thee and not for me.
Yeah, I mean, if we all get Z4M coupes, I'll vote for Jagmeet.
If we do, I'll vote for him.
Yeah, I'll vote for him. You could sell a Supra, and you could just have a Z4M coupe.
Yeah, I could. I could.
Or you could have another car for your garage.
It would be like the Supra before the Supra.
Yeah, it'd be more raw, I guess, because it's like, you know, older, and by default must be more enticing. Oh, fucking Jagmeet. I'm glad this guy's gone. It's really funny after the fact that he's stepping down to see all this stuff. I don't mind when people believe things I don't believe. That's my opinion. As long as you really believe it. As long as you're
Mhm.
really like you would say it with your chest kind of thing, I can respect you for having beliefs that you stand behind. It's just when those beliefs are very popular with young people and it seems like you don't necessarily believe them that
Yeah,
I find that you're, on either side. As long as you actually believe the things you say, I don't. I can give some respect. Obviously,
yeah.
if the
The,
things
the
you
the
say
cat's out of the bag in that case.
a little bit, the cat's out of the turban. Um, fucking Jagmeat. I don't care. He's a clown. That guy. Thank God he's gone. I will not. I hope good things for that party. Anyway, thanks for coming along with us for that. Nick, did you have anything else you wanted to touch on? I know it's been a busy week for both of us, but I think that was a little bit of fun. A lot of surprises.
Yeah, no, that was good. I don't think I have anything else. Anything else? I'll try and prepare a little more for the next one because yeah, it's been a bit of a crazy week this week. So
Yeah.
we're admittedly we were kind of flying by the seat of our pants on this one,
Yeah. It
but
turned out
I
good
think
though.
we yeah, I think it turned out all right.
Very interesting. Very interesting for Jagmeat. I
Yes,
can't stop thinking about this.
literally would not expect that at all.
I respect the car. I just don't like him. You know what I mean? So it's like hard because you're like, damn, that's good too. But like, fuck, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like hey, I don't I don't really care for him or agree with him, but got good
Yeah.
taste. I'll give him that.
Good taste. Well, thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Make sure that you follow us where you can on Instagram. Haven't posted anything to the TikTok. We'll get to it eventually. The Instagram is Curbrash YT, I believe. It'll be in the description. And if you have anything to say, you want to reach out, you want to give us a ha ha hee hee, or if you fucking hate us, whatever. If you are a swimmer and you want to comment, feel free, and we're happy to address it. In fact, if you are a swimmer, we're curious. We're curious people. So please let us know what you find so enticing about it. Maybe we're just old and out of touch. But thanks for tuning in this week, and we'll see you guys in the next one, and we'll be more prepared. All right, thanks everybody.